is what are the key steps and milestones in preparing a satellite for a launch or for final assembly to liftoff?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole ton of items that go into that. Here on our side, we are kind of we lead the program from the standpoint of making sure that all the vendors are coordinated and leading the assembly integration from a top level. We have partners that do the assembly integration and test of the satellite. And for the sounder satellites, which we have a very talented team working on, we have so many different components that go into it. So in a sense, it's kind of like building this Lego model where we have all these different pieces that are coming from all over the place, from different vendors, and we bring them all together at our one vendor that builds our bus and integrates our final satellite. And in that process, they put it all together, and then we move into kind of the next phase where it's a fully built satellite, and we go through what's called environmental testing. And so that's to prepare it for the harsh environments of space. Really, what we're focusing on is, does it do well under temperature pressure? Does it do well under, vibrational environments on launch?
Right.
And so, kind of the way we refer to that is, shaking and baking the satellite. So, um,
Nice.
these are all in order to get us, you know, confidence that the satellite is going to perform on orbit through all these extreme conditions. Um, and then after all of that, we go through kind of final checkout and integration to the launch vehicle. So at this point, we are really essentially doing just one last final check to make sure nothing broke during that testing. And then we will integrate it to the launch vehicle. And that's basically like, putting it on the FedEx truck and saying, ready to go, and it's going to launch. And then prior to launch, we do a launch readiness review. Essentially, this is done as a pre-ship review, and we work with our ground station partners to make sure everything is ready to go from a hardware standpoint and a mission operations standpoint. That we are set for launch, and we're ready to start communicating and operating the satellite.
Wow. That's like, to me, so cool. I also love the idea of it's just a really fancy, really expensive, kitted out FedEx truck to
Mhm.
get it up to its final destination.
Yeah.
Just curious, how long would you say that you just described like beginning to end, right? And all the coordination that goes into how long is that entire process? And I'm assuming it varies every single time and different things can happen, but I'm just curious how long it usually takes.
Yeah, so we started this program roughly. We had our first launch on the Sounders program back in August of 2024, and we started the program back in 2022. So, 2 years is when you start to onboard all of your vendors, get the contracts in place, start having those conversations, getting through the designs, and that's actually quite expedited compared to our some of the other competitors out there and some other bigger satellites. That's a huge factor. Just how big your satellite is will drive, how much complexity and how long it's going to take to build. So, and we were building off of some heritage with a previous NASA MIT collaboration program. So we were able to expedite that timeline a little bit.